Hey, YouTube. Hey, and LinkedIn and Facebook and the whole 9 yards is here today, apparently. All right, great, great. I see Beth's still number one, first in the door, of course. And that's great. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So yes, and you're right. Somebody does have to be. Uh, I almost know every time when Brandon and I are off camera, I can look over here on the comments and I can see the where somebody has made a comment. I can almost bet who it's going to be. Almost always can bet. And if it was somebody else, I'd be just shocked. Oh my God, I'd be just shocked. But yeah, guys and girls. I do know Beth's in there, so it's girls. There is there's some weirdness going on, a whole lot of weirdness, and I don't want to get real deep into it, but there's some things happening that maybe everybody should start paying attention to. I've been preaching this for a while. I've been saying it's coming, and I'm fearful that it's on top of us now, especially after what has gone on. Really, you know what? Let's kind of jump into this, and just to be honest, let's get into this. I want to show you an article that has come to my attention, and it, this could really change the damn landscape of all that we're doing in the smoke shops. Now, for Kentucky, that's not so much the truth because we do not have the ability to sell flower, THCA flower. And so we can't sell that to the general public. We can't sell pre-rolls or anything like that. But it could be some other shit that's going to happen. Let me show you this. It comes from MJ Biz. All right. And this is a big rag that really does up the whole news aspect of it. This came up June the 4th, 2025. So yes, this is yesterday, but it's going down. Okay. The federal budget proposal would ban hemp derived THC and THCA flower. I'm talking a flat out federal ban. Okay. I have read this already, but I think it bears me reading it to you. U.S. hemp interests are sounding the alarm, which is a total bullshit because a lot of you won't even know this is going on, over a House Republican budget proposal that, if passed by Congress, would ban hemp-derived THC products outright at the federal level, including so-called THCA flower. Well, it's not so-called. It really is hemp flower that's hot. It's just hot. And so it's really just weed. Let's keep it real, okay? The proposal, the fiscal year 2026 Agricultural, Rural Development, Food and Drug Administration, and related agencies bill, that's where they got lazy and just got tired of naming names, has language, remember that word, has language that would close the hemp loophole, okay, that's in quotations, created by the 2018 Farm Bill, said Rep. Andy Harris, a Maryland Republican, and the chairman of the key committee. The 25.523 billion spending bill introduced Wednesday, including funding for rural broadband, food stamps, and federal food inspectors, because we need those, because as a former fat kid, I still like to eat when I eat. But the measure also drastically revises the definition, which is under interpretation, just remember that too, of hemp used in the 2018 Farm Bill that has led to the proliferation of unregulated intoxicating hemp products. Now you keep seeing those words, intoxicating hemp products. Remember the word, Delta, THCP, the whole alphabet there of everything that we put on into gummies and tinctures and vapes and all that, including Delta 8 and hemp flower being sold online and in gas stations. Here we go, the gas stations and online uh, across the country, said Harris in a statement. How the bill redefines hemp. Okay, so just listen to this. Hemp is redefined as cannabis with a total tetrahydrocannabinoid, concentration, including the acid, cannabinolic acid, and of not more than 0.3% in the plant of a dry weight basis. Novel cannabinoids such as Delta 8 and Delta 10 THC synthesized, which means manufactured, or manufactured outside of the plant, so they chemicalized and then they manufactured it, are not considered hemp. So they could be regulated by whom? The state or the feds? The bill also creates a new definition for hemp derived cannabinoid products. Those are defined as products with quantifiable amounts of THC, THCA, or any other cannabinoid. I knew I would one day be able to say that word. That very similar effects or are marketed to have similar effects. There you go again, on humans or animals as tetrahydrocannabinoid, THC. That would seem to include so-called novel cannabinoids found in hemp products sold online, such as THCP and Delta 10 THC. Here we go, the over-exaggeration. Farm crushing, job killing, hemp ban. But since no legal protections are included, the upshot is to effectively ban the sale of legal hemp derived products. Jonathan Miller, general counsel, of course he is, of the U.S. Hemp Roundtable. Well, I mean, you shot yourself in the foot. Told you. Said in a statement, we are disappointed that Chairman Harris is yet again trying to inappropriately shoehorn a farmer crushing, job killing hemp ban into a spending bill, Miller added. It's not going to crush the farms. That's not what's going to happen. It's not going to kill jobs. Those people are just going to migrate to something else. I mean, what it is, it's going to close down a lot of big name companies who are giving Jonathan Miller a shitload of money, to be the general counsel of the Hemp Roundtable and whatever. The Hemp Roundtable pointed out that the language in Harris's bill, remember that word, is similar to an amendment in a new farm bill proposed a year ago by Mary Miller, an Indiana Republican. That amendment failed when efforts to pass a new farm bill stalled. Who cares their political affiliation? The fact is they are against our industry, Republican or Democrat. I mean, the only reason the Democrats not involved is because they don't want the optics of the news. That's the honest to God truth. The amendment failed when efforts to pass the new farm bill stalled. Harris's move to ban intoxicating hemp derived THC products follows action at the state level to tighten hemp laws to restrict or outlaw competitors to legal cannabis. Now, I remember saying one time, and this isn't an I told you so moment, sort of, but I remember saying that once marijuana became legal, all this shit would disappear. Now, was I right? According to this guy, I am. Hemp has attracted more operators eager to take advantage of more lax rules and apparent opportunities for interstate commerce not afforded to state regulated marijuana business. Some major marijuana multi state operators, such as New York based Curaleaf Holdings, have started offering hemp derived THC beverages online and in stores. So, in the end, that's kind of really what we're talking about here, man. Are they? I mean, I think the hemp people just got lazy and didn't want to hear the big picture. Yeah, the government doesn't like competition. They do not want sales tax money. They want marijuana tax money. That's all. That we owe how many $1 trillion, and we're not going to make that up through fucking state sales tax. We have got to make that up through a federal regulatory tax that's going to go right on old marijuana. And if we all keep it real, if old Uncle Donnie wants to become the most popular president in America in all time, all he's got to do is to sustain his legacy, in all honesty. And anybody watching this knows I'm telling you the truth. All he's got to do is totally legalize marijuana at the federal level so that every state can pick and choose if they want to be wet or dry or whatever they want to call it. And maybe even the whole state doesn't have to. Maybe counties can do that. But if he made that federally legal where they could ship it by interstate commerce and we could buy it, if you had the license, of course, don't get me wrong. But if they did and we could, would we? Maybe. I mean, maybe if I could order it from, I don't know, British Columbia, maybe if I could order it from Michigan, maybe, the indoor, wherever the best indoor is, 9, 10 levels in Colorado of an office building that they're doing nothing but growing it full time, 24/7. If I could order from them, what would happen? Of course, it would have to be shipped correctly, and we would have to get it and we would have to dole it out. Would we do that? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But I do know that if old Don wanted to become the most favored president in our time, all you'd have to do is legalize the leaf. I'm telling you, that's all it would take, in my opinion. Now, being as though we talked about that, I got a follow-up article that I want to go with here, and I want you to read this. It also comes from NJ Biz because I think this gives us a real good follow-up to it, and it probably expands upon it, if that makes sense. Is the golden era of THCA flower coming to an end? Well, I truthfully believe it is. I truthfully believe it is because there's a lot of rattling here going on, where these guys feel very safe in talking like this. And I feel like we're coming to a drastic halt to what's being done, and the free money is out the door. And I feel like, well, I'll save that. I'll save what I was going to say. Says breaking, a federal budget proposal introduced Wednesday would ban hemp derived THC products nationwide, including THCA flower. Stephen Brown firmly believes THCA flower is federally legal hemp under the 2018 Farm Bill. Well, the only problem with that, Stephen, is that the state or the feds really don't care about your opinion. But the CEO of Minnesota based Nothing But Hemp isn't selling the stuff, not online nor in any of his 11 retail locations in 2 states that offer an otherwise comprehensive array of hemp derived THC products. That's because more and more states, without regulating adult use marijuana markets, are passing laws that clarify THCA flower is exactly what most cannabis users would recognize it as: plain old weed, and thus illegal. Because we all know the facts. You light it, it becomes just that. We don't even kid ourselves. That is exactly what it is. Every year, I see more and more states adopting laws that makes THCA illegal. He told them via phone. There's too much risk in it. Some legal observers argue that THCA is still allowed under federal law, regardless of what states do, as long as current Farm Bill protections last. Well, until the state says, no, you're out. We're not doing that no more. But with a wave of states empowering law enforcement, like Texas, to recognize THCA as marijuana and seize it, hemp merchants such as Brown are left to conclude that the boom is ending. Well, it is. It is coming to a grinding halt. In 2024, Tennessee law enforcement officers seized a large shipment of what they claimed was the marijuana. But because the definition of marijuana under state law did not account for THCA, Tennessee authorities in December agreed to pay two hemp businesses $735,000 after the seized product spoiled. That's unlikely to be repeated after January 1st of 26, when a bill redefining hemp takes effect in Tennessee. The measure was signed into law May 21st by Tennessee Governor Bill Lee. Starting next year in Tennessee, THCA will be defined as the precursor under the Analog Act of the federal system. I'm just saying. The precursor of Delta 9 THC. And THC will be defined as tetrahydrocannabinoid, THCA, a THC compound, or any derivative thereof. Boy, that's dangerous language. Any derivative thereof. A similar scenario is unfolding in Texas, where state lawmakers passed a bill in May that also massaged the definition of THC under state law. Ooh. The big state did, huh? Okay. That bill now awaits Governor Abbott's approval, though advocates for the state's $5.5 billion hemp industry said Monday they delivered 5,000 letters and a petition, which nobody gives a shit about, with more than 118,000 signatures begging him to veto the legislation. He ain't going to. They already have a plan. Neither Tennessee nor Texas allows for medical marijuana. So, to date, they have been ideal markets for hemp-derived THC. I mean, that's what the government does. That's what the governors do. They don't give a shit about you in the big picture. They have to think of the whole state as a whole. And how many have come to him, doctors included, cops included, they're all in his ear constantly about, hey, man, this stuff right here, this is just nothing more than weed and blah, 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 right? And so that's kind of what happens. The 2018 Farm Bill created a THCA loophole. Most observers acknowledge that Congress unwillingly created a so-called loophole when the 2018 Farm Bill defined hemp as cannabis plants or plant-derived products with 0.3% THC or less by dry weight. However, most raw cannabis plants contain very little THC. They contain THCA or tetrahydrocannabinoic acid, which heat converts into THC. So the moment you put the light to it, it's happening. That's despite the fact legal hemp is supposed to be grown under the auspices of state hemp programs that adhere to U.S. Department of Ag rules, guidelines. These guidelines explicitly say that hemp testers must heat a sample and convert the THCA into THC. Observer Rachel Gillette, an attorney at Colorado-based Holland and Hart, who specializes in cannabis law. So what is really happening here? People are growing cannabis and slapping a hemp label on it and saying it's legal in all 50 states, but that's not legal certified hemp, she said. Now remember, she specializes in cannabis law. But law enforcement is very confused and there's no real regulatory enforcement. So here we are about that. Now there's about to be. Okay. Therein lies the loophole. Federal lawmakers have signaled their awareness of the loophole and their intentions to close it in the next farm bill. Ooh, here it comes. But with the Farm Bill neatly 2 years overdue and little progress towards an updated version of the massive legislative package, the onus of regulating the and enforcing THCA is falling to the states. Well, it's the states' rights issue. So it's kind of how things should be. Over the past half decade, we've seen maybe the biggest legal market expansion in cannabis history, said Rod Knight. No, Kite, a North Carolina based attorney who specializes in the distinction between hemp and weed. More recently, he added, we're seeing that rapidly being cut off. Texas hemp-derived THC ban goes much further than Tennessee's. Tennessee still will allow the popular hemp-derived beverages that nothing but hemp's brown and many other merchants, including major marijuana multi-state operators, are distributing nationwide. So they'll be able to still have them in their packaged liquor stores, maybe even their bars, at restaurants, maybe. I don't know. Here in Kentucky, they're putting a stop to that too. They have put a stop to that. As a matter of fact, the drinks, they're no longer in bars. They're no longer in restaurants. You can only buy them in packaged liquor stores. And wouldn't you know it, that Anheuser-Busch covers most of those beverages. You know, the big boys. That dissonance signals that Kite seems as a continuation of the longstanding war on drugs stigma. Cannabis flower classified as illegal, with drinks, gummies, and other products acceptable. So no flower, you can have all the rest of that shit. But some companies appear willing to run the risk even when THCA flower is explicitly banned. For example, some flower merchants based in Southern Oregon, where marijuana prices are still depressed amid massive oversupply. Good Lord, can you imagine? Will ship the customers in states that other major brands won't service. And on Tuesday, Maryland-based Super Greens Hemp Co., which sells THCA flower online, announced it had purchased 36 THCA cannabis farms across the country. Holy stuff. That's crazy. Wow. The company said some of the THCA farms it acquired are located in Texas, California, where state law explicitly limits intoxicating cannabis to regulated marijuana channels. That reveals what Gillette calls a massive enforcement gap. Wow. There's no enforcement beyond the farm gate to ensure hemp adheres to the USDA guidelines. There's simply too many merchants selling THCA products online and in stores and to shut them all down. Observers believe the likeliest path in Texas and other states where THCA merchants still do business might be a couple of high profile enforcement actions. I'm glad that's not going to be Chad against the most prominent businesses. That might encourage other merchants or their investors to think twice and to quietly shutter their own businesses. Okay, let's get to it. Here we are. We're right down to it. Most observers agree that nationwide demand for hemp derived THC products is a direct result of marijuana prohibition at the federal level. Here we go. They also agree that overtly strict state legalization laws helps encourage entrepreneurs to get into hemp rather than regulated marijuana. Well, that's reflected here in Kentucky. I mean, it's extremely hard to get into the marijuana business because they've made it extremely hard, and I mean, with the way things is going, it really don't pay to be in hemp as well. So it kind of is what it is. That reflected in lobbying records and public statements from marijuana companies and advocacy organizations who say that hemp merchants who pay less in taxes and abide by fewer regulations enjoy an unfair advantage. When you start hearing these people talk about these lobbying people and these advocacy organizations, really what that is people that are taking your money and filling you full of a lot of hateful rhetoric about stuff that it's really a whole lot of bullshit. Why would you pay these people to advocate for you? Why not just all these retailers get together and march on this and make a big deal out of it? You could all get together and hire a lobbyist. You can all get together and hire, an attorney, to be involved in this. You don't need these hemp roundtables to do this. I mean, anytime you get an organization together, it's just somebody just ripping you off. They are. Here in Kentucky. We have that too. We have these hemp organizations, really full of shit. Every single one of them, and they're all in the hemp beverage industry. Imagine that. So everything they do, they use your money to advocate for their products. So keep that in mind as well, ladies and gentlemen. Part of the enforcement philosophy is that a crackdown on hemp will encourage those merchants to obtain state marijuana license and play by the same rules. For his part, Brown won't play that game. I run what's pretty close to an 8-figure business, and I would never in a million years go into state regulated marijuana. He said, "That's way too much risk and regulation in it." Well, I mean, be a part of the team, man. Pay your taxes. Be a part of the game. I mean, that's honest to God, the truth there, y'all. I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, I think, they just want some cooperation. And really, you got a guy there who just wants to simply be an outlaw, which, hey, man, I kind of get that. I understand that. But the days of that shit is out the door. And I mean, I don't know. I really don't. And Beth, as far as them dropping the patent, I don't know about that either. I don't know about that. I mean, should they? Fucking bet they should. I mean, we ought to all be able to have a lot full of it in my backyard, and we shouldn't be worried about, I mean, what I'd be worried about in my backyard is that the deer would eat it all, in all honesty. I wouldn't be worried about the thieves and shit. I have so many damn deer back there. I mean, they would probably eat the whole thing clean, but man, would they be a calm bunch. They'd hang out and let me ride them, and wouldn't that be fun? But I mean, that's really what's going on. Well, yeah, there is. You're exactly right. There's always a back door, but I just think getting together and throwing money at organizations and lobbyists and shit. I mean, you all could regulate that type of shit yourself and be. I mean, if you want to be involved in that, but I'm honest to God telling you, I know it with all my heart. I was just telling Brandon, and I was just talking to Jamie when I was coming home today. I know. I also was telling Grover too. We was all on the phone. Me and Grover and Jamie was on the phone together, and he was anyway beside the point. And we was talking about this article that I had found and was reading, and I was telling him about it, the THCA flower going away. And he said, yeah, he said, all these states are really talking about it, and everybody I'm talking to, and they're telling me, they're worried about how they're going to reorganize and yada yada yada. Well, I'm in all honesty, man. Yes, I do. I don't want another big dog, Beth. I had a Shar and when she died, I just never got over it, and I don't want to go through that pain ever again. And had a cat die too, and it just made me. Ugh. Now I got another one that's getting older. There was a brother cousin. That's a whole story. But anyway, to the first one that died, and I'm afraid he's getting on his age too. And now once I'm done with this cat, I'm done. I'm never getting another animal. If I can't ride those deer in the back, I'm not doing it. I'm out. But anyway, I really think that in all honesty, we are coming into another great golden age of true head shop. I really believe we're about to go back to glass grinders, scales. I honest to God believe that, man. I honest to God, I see it. I know it. I know it so much that I have made a long gamble, and I have an ass load of glass in our warehouse right this second. And then we're starting to see the sales. We're starting to see the turn of the glass. We're starting to see movement. So if it wasn't happening, I would know it because we wouldn't be seeing the glass move. I absolutely know it because hey, Tip Top, what's up, man? Uh, yeah, we're seeing it with new dispensaries opening down the street. I'm telling you, man, the more these legal weed comes in, and the more there's going to be regulation there as well, because the one thing that they're not going to want to do is they're not going to want to have sales tax here and have marijuana tax here and have to separate it, and that you ring it into the sales tax instead of the marijuana tax. And they want to make sure everything is under one thing. Glass has been picking up for us. Yeah, Beth, I bet Tip Top. I know I'm right, and I have made an extreme bet on it in my wholesale. And I know Brandon and Jamie and all the girls at work or at the warehouse are so sick of seeing glass and grinders come in the door. We had several pallets of this stuff come in within the last 2 weeks, and I mean I've even gone as far as to be bringing other products in. Like, this is my new in stock page right here. You're not seeing Delta products. You're not seeing that. You are seeing what I'm absolutely betting on right there, and it's old school head shop products. And Brandon don't even have it all on. I mean, there are products here. There are some vape products there, but I mean, for the majority of what you see there, this is all old school head shop stuff. And we have 4 pages on the new in stock stuff. And so you're seeing things. I mean, like, look at this, man. I mean, there is some Delta, don't get me wrong, but the majority of this, I mean, I'm betting. I'm betting big, but I'm seeing it move already. I'm seeing stuff there. I'm seeing it happening. I'm also willing to bet that pure mushroom product is going to be coming in for like gummies. I'm willing to bet that Blue Lotus products are going to be a big deal, and I'm starting to see that as well. I'm really seeing this happening, and I'm seeing it in real time. And so I absolutely, positively believe it in every single way. Yes, wraps, grinders, cones. Hey, as a matter of fact, we just picked up a new brand. I'm sorry, Blunted. We just picked up their stuff, and they are a hemp cone with a glass tip into it. And these things right here, man, I'm betting on this brand too, because I truthfully believe that the old school status quo crap is going to go away. And what's going to set a lot of people apart is products like this right here that, hey, I've never heard that. Let me try one of those. Let me get one of those. And I mean, these things are at a really decent price, and they've got a great flavor to them. This is a very small company. They have quite a bit of stock, and we have it now in the warehouse. So should you want to try some, just let me know. I'll hook you up with it, and we'll do right by you guys, of course. My especially Tip Top and Beth, I'll do you right. And Beth, on your next order, let me know. Remind me, I'll send you a sample. And You know how I am. I like to send samples. I like to send gifts, Beth, And so I really I know that this is going to be something. This is going to be a great product here. We are really taking some chances on less than popular brands. I really want to bring these smaller products to market, and I want you guys to see things that are totally different than what you go to the Champs Trade Show and see every single time. Because you walk right in and all you see is raw. And you can't blame, I don't like Josh, don't get me wrong, but you can't blame him for marketing that away and putting it in your face and thumbs out for him. I really understand what he's doing there. But in all honesty, I just don't like him. I don't like how he does business, but I can't knock the marketing, man. I cannot mark his hustle. I cannot knock it. I just don't like him as a human. I really don't. But the rest of it, man, I get it. And his people have always been real nice to me, so I've got no issue with any of them. He really goes out of his way to push the damn brand. The old school kids are coming back, and I've had several requests for we was just talking about the damn beaded curtains today, and we were just Bella up there in Oxford, Ohio. That's where Wildberry is. Well, they have their main store up there on the main street. And of course, she grew up in this industry, so she goes in there and she looks around, and of course it's Wildberry. They do have some smoke shop stuff in there, but it's mostly incense and stuff like that and gift items. And she said they had so much of that stuff, just in there. It was ridiculous. But yeah, the old school stuff is coming in. Oh, are you drinking coffee out of it? Or are you drinking a little something more amber? I'm just saying, I don't blame you either, man, because that stone mug keep them cold if you've got a cold beverage in it. But I really, really like how they're made. So I paid a little bit for them, but I think when you get something like those, you treasure those a little better. And like you do, your mug, you collect mugs, and so when you get something like that, it kind of goes. But now, honestly, I got to get a new one because I've shrunk so much that really, I call that fat Chad on the cover on that thing. I don't have that, but I don't have one of those mugs here. But all of them have the fat Chad medallion on it, and so I really need to get some more made with more slim Chad, and hopefully that'll motivate me to stay this way and not dive right back into the food. So hopefully that's the way it goes. But I do love those mugs. I really do. Bella drinks those. My daughter drinks those too. So I understand. You know, I don't think it's a girl thing. I see dudes drinking them too. So I know that if they're in their major stores, people are drinking those. So it's not just a girl thing. It's dudes drinking those too. Yeah. Yeah, I understand that too. They don't keep them cold. So they're just aluminum cans. They are what they are. But anyway, let's move to the next one. I got another couple here. We're going to move over here to another one here. Let me see, which one have I got? It is the Alaska hemp product limitation rule deemed constitutional by a judge. Ugh, yuck. Alaska is making headlines after a federal judge ruled that the last frontier state did not violate the U.S. Constitution when it acted to limit intoxicating hemp products in 23. The plaintiffs in the case were Alaska Industrial Hemp Association. Here we go again, an association or organization, and sued the state in 2023. Magistrate Judge Kyle Reardon said that the plaintiffs identified to authorities that supports their suggestion that the state's amended hemp regulation conflicts with the 18 Farm Act definition of hemp and that the regulations are consistent with the Farm Bill. The 23 ruling bans intoxicating hemp products unless purchased from a licensed cannabis retailer. The recent ruling means that these intoxicating hemp products will continue to be considered illegal. It was rewarding to be part of the process developing the regulations, and I was happy when we successfully defended against the motion for a preliminary injunction in 23, said Assistant Attorney General Kevin Higgins, by email, of course. He's not going to talk to him on the phone. He's too big time, you know. I'm not patting myself on the back. Yes, you are. Too hard, though. The Division of Ag was motivated by public safety. The kids, oh God, the kids need us to help them because their parents won't beat their ass, so we have to regulate it. Uh, when it took measures, action to regulate an emerging industry. This was an easy case to make, which is probably why the plaintiffs didn't file in opposition to the motion for summary judgment. Recreational cannabis was first legalized in Alaska in 14. In 23, the Alaska Division of Ag put into effect the ruling which made it illegal to purchase intoxicating hemp products, mainly because, if you think about this, sales tax does not bring in money like marijuana tax. Keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about the cash. It's not about saving the kids. Oh my God, they need our help. Oh God. It's never about that. It is about the damn money. Follow the money. If the money is in regulation and you get the marijuana tax money, legalized marijuana will always kill the rest of the shit that was making money in the state that only collects sales tax. Every single time. Every single time. It will happen. And we've seen it state to state to state to state to state. Nothing's changed. Nothing. Previously, these types of products were able to be purchased at stores such as gas stations, convenience stores, which are not licensed by the state. Hello, McFly. Trevor Haynes, president of the Alaska Marijuana Industry Association, usual suspects, and manager of a Fairbanks marijuana business, said to them, I have a business that's purely a hemp business, and so I understand it from both sides. It's unfortunate, and there might be a better solution. So the head of this was also had a marijuana business. Wow. Also had a hemp business. Wow. Who do you think he acted on to help the most? Which business did he decide? Well, fuck that place. Which one? Uh, and there might be a better solution, but the regulators were certainly a way. The regulations are certainly a way to ensure that there's no gray area where intoxicating hemp, aka marijuana, under another name, can be produced in a state and sold in the state. On their face, on the face, the amended regulations provide that any hemp retailer, regardless of its location, may not offer products intended for animal or human consumption that contain Delta 9 THC. Plaintiffs present no evidence that the regulations treat out of state hemp retailers any different from their in state counterparts. Moreover, the state differential regulations of the marijuana market does not render the amended hemp regulations discriminatory. Kind of legal jargon there. And it is what it is. Judge Reardon expressed in the ruling the effects of those regulations on out of state hemp retailers cannot be compared to those effects on in state marijuana retailers or other participants in the marijuana market, for those entities are not similarly situated. They have had their own market for 2014 to now. Why would they want you to be able to purchase the same type of product for less money and you only pay sales tax for that when you could be paying marijuana tax for the weed that they already have? It's simple economics, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. It's terrible, man. I mean, these people are, it is what it is, in all honesty. But I'm telling you, as I go further with this and down the rabbit hole I go, I could probably just keep reading them. I've got another one, as a matter of fact, that we could look into. But I mean, in the end, the more that you get in the way of the money, that's the old gangster code. Don't get in the way of the money. No matter what, don't get in the way of the money. And if you ever do, you can expect ramifications. Well, in all honesty, the ramifications this time around is that they're going to get rid of a whole industry, and there's going to be people who are going to have to move to something else and do something else, or they're pretty well screwed. That's the bottom line. They're pretty well screwed. And a lot of these stores, now remember, I'll guarantee you, Beth and Tip Top, you guys look down the road and you're going to know exactly where the next store is that your competition, right? No matter what, they're your competition. And I promise you, 70, 75% of these vape head shops is going to close the door because they have been raised on and brought up in the industry on nothing but vapes, uh, Delta products, maybe hemp flower. If that's all they know, and all of a sudden, because the PMTA is being enforced state to state to state to state now, and that is totally coming to an end. If those three things go away, will they even know the difference in the percolators in the water pipes? Will they? Will they know how to educate the customer? Will they know how to sell to the customer? Will they, I mean, do they even have the skills to create a relationship with the customer? I bet you the answer is no. And I'll bet you, if you can just hold on, just like I was talking to Grover about tonight, that if his customers can just hold on, his old school customers, not his new customers are going to go away. My new customers are going to go away if they don't get on the stick and start really listening to what's being told to them instead of living in some kind of a crazy bubble. I had a guy from Texas call me, and Rick has been in the business for a number of years. He's also in the alcohol business. And he was telling me, he goes, "Hey, man, what do you think about this deal with Texas?" Because I put it, I'm placing on the Chadway TV Facebook all the time now. I've been doing it for the last little bit, industry news, and I'm talking about all of the stuff that's coming to pass, and we're putting out graphics for it. We're putting out posts for it. Now on Chadway TV, I'm writing blogs. We're also going to be doing industry news, and we're going to be posting it there as well, because I want to be able to own my own content, and that's what my own website does for us. And I haven't started putting videos on there yet, but it ain't over till it's over. I don't know what I'm doing about that yet either. But because who knows, that YouTube could take me at any moment if they wanted to. They could just shut us out and it's over. But I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you, just like I told him, if you can hold on, but for dear life, and you can build relationships with customers, and you can educate the customers in the other products that are still available, you will be okay. Now, is it going to be, hemp flower money? Probably not. Is it going to be Delta money? Probably not. But it may be. It may be simply that you have to pivot back to what you first learned, and you have to go back to it, and you have to quit being lazy and dealing with just, gummies and all this shit. And you have to be ready to go and talk to the customer, deal with the customer, learn the customer, educate the customer. You have to build some form of tribe again, and go back to the old school way of doing things. Bottom line, that's what's going to have to happen. Uh, the one up the road lives off hemp and vapes. Not one of the water pipes has slides. Oh God, or buckets, bubbles only. He also doesn't sell slides or, oh my God. Send me his number. No, that's not true. I don't want that guy. I want you to outperform him, Beth. I want these people to come to you. And when they need a water pipe, let's don't go to that dude. Let's go to you. When they want a quality glass product, they need to be coming to you. You know, th- that's the bottom line. And I really truly believe this. I believe you guys are going to see a golden era of head shop come right back in. I totally believe it. I know that you guys it's going to be really hard to believe that. And right now, because we've lived in a time in the last few years where money was kind of easy, and you really didn't have to deal with the customer. They came in, they wanted to buy some gummies, they bought, I remember CBD. I swear I used to call it snake oil because I all it did was make me sleepy, and I could buy melatonin over at Walmart. I didn't need it from that. But Delta product, woo, that's a whole different ball game. And so I could see the value of that, and it was very simple to do. And I'm telling you, there are still going to be other products that's going to come. I truly believe that Blue Lotus product and mushroom products are going to come in heavy as well. I believe that you're going to start seeing a lot of that type of deal. I think you're going to start seeing more kava kratom things. I think you're going to see more Islander type stuff. I really do believe that's going to happen. 100%. I believe that. Kratom's going to come on heavy. There's already, kratom drinks. There's already kratom gummies. There's already that type of thing. And I saw kratom strips the other day that you put in your mouth and they just dissolve. Well, I sell them. What are you talking about? And we have those. I No, no, no. I'm not. I don't need that at all. I got you, Beth. I don't need him. I was just joking. I got you. I don't need him. I would never sell to your competition, Beth. No way, no how. Not the first lady that shows up to every show. No fucking way. Wouldn't happen. I don't care if he had $1 million to hand me. I swear to you, I wouldn't do it. Yeah, you will never find my products in there unless he buys them from you. So if you want to sell them the products, that's cool with me too. But nope, nope. I don't do it, man. I've made a whole life of being loyal to people. I don't like to, well, if I get a new customer and I know that they're in your area, I want to see how far off they are from you. If they're in your city and it's not, 30, 40 miles away from you, I really don't want to, I really don't want to get involved. And like in a big city like Cleveland or Cincinnati or Chicago, people don't really leave their little area because here in Louisville they don't either. But I'm in Mount Washington, so I drive all the way in, and we don't. A lot of people stay in their area. They use their Walmart, their Kroger, their Piggly Wiggly, their gas stations, wherever their pizza joints. If they don't have a Papa John's in that area, which they always do, but if they didn't, they just wouldn't eat Papa John's. They don't give a shit. If Uber Eats can't bring it to them, they don't want it. It's how it is. So, but yeah, I don't do that either, man. I don't. Especially a translator. Forget about it. Mm-mm. No, but I wouldn't do anything to hurt you. So that was a joke. But if you want to sell to them, that's on you. But I'm telling you, they're not going to be there much longer. They're not. I promise you, because they're not going to have the skills to make everything with the customer right and to make the customer feel good about the transaction. And that's going to be the key, I think, going forward too, is you're going to have to get very old school, very uh, dialed in to the needs of the customer. You're going to have to become very customer service oriented, and you're going to have to do that. And if you're not willing to do that, you're probably out. You just don't know it yet. And because it's going to go back to a time like when Brandon and I was at the flea market, and we've told this story a million times. But at the flea market, you got to know everybody, and I enjoyed it. In all honesty, I totally enjoyed speaking to these people and getting to know them. And hey, where's your girl? Where's your wife? Where's your husband? What's going on? Blah blah blah. and we love talking to them. We look forward to seeing them every single weekend. And so to us, it was very, you got to know them like family. It was like your smoke shop family. And even when we started opening stores, those people would come. And then when we was no longer in the stores, they was telling our employees about, when we was at the flea market, when we was doing this, and we was doing that. And they would tell how they met us and all this. And it was, it's quite flattering, man, that they remember stuff like that. And it made you feel really good about the time that you spent with them. And I still see these people out and about, and because I live in the same area still. And when I do, they have no problem speaking to me. I got no problem speaking to them either. And some of them became very good friends of mine. Some of them, their families, and I really appreciate every single one of them, because I'm telling you, without your tribe of core customers, you will not stay in business. And sometimes, man, you can talk to them about some new products, and they don't even have a problem calling you. And, like literally some of them absolutely have my cell phone number this very day. And, they'll text me, hey, man, I'm going to the store. Do you know if you have this? And, I don't know if he's got it because I can't see the running inventory. And I said, well, when you get up there, have him give me a call and I'll take care of your prices. And so, we do that. And I'm sure you guys do that too for your stores. And, you've got customers that's been coming in there for years. And some of them, and like I've got a couple of customers that's still getting the 3 for $5 raw. And I'm losing money when they do it, but they never take advantage. They come in and they buy them, and they come back and, 2 or 3 weeks later, and they buy, three more, and they never take advantage. Never. And I love those people for it, man. I love those people for it. And so I don't mind do it. You lose a little money on your standards, but so what? In the big picture, it's about keeping the tribe together. And I wonder if that makes sense right now. But it does to me. It does to me, because I want to keep my core together. And I know that honestly, man, things is kind of tough out there still, even with Trump back in the game. And I know the stock market has rebounded like a motherfucker. I know it has. Believe you me, I know it. But I still know, man, McDonald's is high as fuck. Gas is high as fuck. You know, like today, I noticed something that I hadn't paid attention to before, but I caught myself doing it. And I had read something online, and it made me realize, damn, Chad, you're guilty of it too. We went and got something to drink. Bella, Jamie, and I, my wife and daughter, and I went and got something to drink at a gas station. And I picked up my app to see what my frequency rewards was, which one I was closer to being there for. And then as we was coming through, I said, hey, you want a candy bar or something we could split? Because me and my wife, we like to get the king size because it comes in the 2 fun size, and we can just split those, and you're not eating a whole candy bar, but it's just enough, but it's not a full size candy bar. And so we like to do that. And I, now that I've lost this weight, especially, I can't eat the full size candy bar, king size candy bar. Then I saw it, and it had the buy 2 for $4. And that made more sense than the 279 for the one. And so I told Bella, I said, hey, you got to pick one, and then you just keep the other half of it or whatever. But I caught myself actually bargain shopping at a convenience store. If I'm doing that, everybody else is too. Every single person is doing that. I'm sure of it. And then I noticed when I was going up to the counter, everybody was looking, had their app open, and they was looking at their frequency rewards. It wasn't just me. It was not just me. It was everybody there. And there was nice cars there. So, we wasn't all, broke. And I wasn't in a poor neighborhood. I mean, there was people with really nice cars there, and they was looking at their app. So if it's not just me and it's not just them, I'm guaranteeing you it's not just you. And so times is tough, man. And anytime you can help the tribe in the store and keep it all together and try to help them in every way, you should. You really, really should. That's just me talking. Okay. Uh, those aren't customers. Those are family. 100%. They will text me if they want to check. If I have, that's exactly right, because I don't want them to drive like that. If not, speaking to that, one of my guys, Carlos, he lives in Shepherdsville. I have a store in Shepherdsville. He's been with us a long time since we was in the flea market. He and his brother and his sister and his whole family. And he texts me and he says, "Hey man, do you know if you guys have any of this?" I said, "Hey, I'll text you back." And I called down there and I asked JT, "Hey man, do we have this?" "Yeah, pull it to the back." And I got a guy coming from it. And I told him who it was. And hit Carlos back up. I said, "Yeah, he's got it. Run up there and check on it. And if it's what you like, have him call me and I'll help you out with the deal." And he said, "No, no, no, man, I'm doing good. Everything's fine." Well, that ain't the point. And so I already had to call down there and tell him, "Hey, JT, if this is what he's doing, don't you sell it to him till you talk to me." And so he did. And then, he hit me back. "Oh man, you're the greatest. You're still number one for me. I don't shop anywhere else." Maybe he does, maybe he don't. But it's the fact that he thought enough to text me before he spent the money somewhere else. And it matters. It matters. And it matters for me that I can help him in even a small way, even a small way. And if he'd have told me, "Hey man, I got to pay you for it next week," I'd have gave it to him. I would have, because I know that relationship between us, that he would have paid it no matter what. And it's those type of people, Beth. You're exactly right. They're family. And if he didn't, and it took him 2 or 3 weeks to pay it, okay. But I know he would. And I remember a lot of times that we've got millions of story of people who ran on credit in our stores. And "Hey man, can I get this wrap and I'll bring you the money after I got off work?" "Yeah." And then he'll call you and say, "Hey man, I got to bring it to you in the morning. I'm running late. I got to do something." And I honestly believe he's not showing up. And then he's knocking on the door. We're not even open, and he's knocking on the door, and he's got the money. He's holding the $2. And so then he had to run and get his gas in the car and go to work. I remember that very well. I remember it very well. And that's right, Beth. That's the family. And times is tough, and we all got to take care of each other. And I'm glad to do it. I'm glad to be in a position where I can do it, and I have no problem doing it. And it's those people that are always going to keep us going, in my humble opinion. Well, all right, guys, we've been going for about an hour and 2 minutes now. So I guess I'm going to cut this off. I've got to get up early. Tomorrow is Brandon's birthday, and he's having a birthday, and we've let him off work so that he can, enjoy a day off and try to get a little rest. And, because we've got a lot coming up, in the coming weeks. And of course, summer's coming up, and I'm going to be gone next week, and I'll be in Chicago. So if any of you guys are coming to the Chicago Champs trade show, hit me up. I'm going to be up there, and I'd love to see you guys. And maybe we get a shot at tequila or something like that. Hey, and don't forget, y'all, I have got a book for sale, and I've been honestly, since I've been promoting this book a little bit, I have been selling this book. And it's called Street Smarts. It's some excerpt of my life and when I was in a former life, but it taught me a whole lot about how to run a business, how to run a business. And these people in this book taught me exactly how to do it, and in their own way, of course. But I took everything I learned on the streets and I put it straight into a business, and here I am today. So there's no doubt that this book really worked, at least for me. And it's a quick read. It's not anything crazy. It's very easy to read. It's not a problem to do or anything like that. You can read that. You can pick that up on Amazon, and it'll be something that you'll really enjoy. It's a quick read, though. Like I said, people are kind of encouraging me now to make an audio book out of it, but with my voice, I don't know, man. I don't know how that'll sound, right? And I don't know about that at all. Also, if you are needing some display cases, I have a guy for you, man. It's Displayarama, and he's down in Florida. And if you'll use my code, he's going to give you 5% off, which could very, very easily cover your shipping, and that would be great. And these are good people, and they're family-owned business down in Hollywood, Florida, and they've got a tremendous. What you're seeing here is just a small amount of what they got, but if you hit them up and you talk to them, let them know, the code Chad Wade 5, and you'll get that discount. And they will even lay out, if you're building out a new store or you want to revamp the store you have, they can lay it all out for you. They can do it all for you, show you what it should look like, and it should really help you guys out a lot. Also, If you're not a member of the Discord, Beth, I don't know if you guys are on there or not. You or Tip Top's on there, but Discord is now free. We're open. We're open for business, and we got that thing going. If you are you can't find it and you need an invite, hit me up at askchadwade@gmail.com. I will send you an invite to that, and you literally walk on there for free. So it's open. We have figured out how to regulate it. You are going to have to answer some qualifying questions so that we know, who you are, what shop you're in, blah, 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 that you qualify to be in there, because we don't want just jackass off the street. What we want is people in there who can be a part of the conversation and who can keep the conversation going and who really wants to learn from other seasoned, veterans in the industry. And if you buy and sell from each other, that's on you. Chad is not involved in any way. So if you buy product from somebody, you better know exactly what you're doing, because these guys are all over the country, but we know who they are. We have vetted them. These are good folks in there. We know all about it, but buy at your own risk, because at any time somebody might not ship something and then you're SOL, and that would suck. In my opinion, that would suck. Okay. But anyway, come on, Beth, you got to put it on your phone and keep it logged in so that we can talk full time. Yeah, just join a new, man. It won't cost you anything to join. All you got to do is just answer a few questions and let us know who you are, where you're located at, what your store's name is, what your position in the store is. And, get in there and be a part of the conversation. I drop in there from time to time. I drop in, the daily news, as far as the industry news. I also put some talking points. If you hit me up in there and at chat, at my name, Smoke Owner, and then I'll be more than happy to answer any questions or help you find something. If you're looking for products, man, everybody in there knows exactly where everything is. I have never seen them say, nope, I don't know where that's at. I've never seen that. I've never seen it. And usually they'll give links and, hey, this is my rep. They'll tell you exactly who it is. Right. And, I understand that too, man. I had to turn off notifications. I have to constantly go in and check it. I got 2 notifications right now. I had to silence my notifications. That drove me insane. I could not stand that, where it constantly dinged to tell me that somebody had talked. And then if they're going back and forth, it's ding, 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 ding. I can't do it, man. I got to be on the phone talking to people, at work, and I can't be sitting there trying to side eye, what somebody's saying. But anyway, that's what I got going on, y'all. If there's anything we can do for you, if there's anything you need at UNSWholesale.com, I can be your rep. Birthday boy Brandon can be your rep. Grover can be your rep. We got a lot of years in the industry. Boy, I am burping up. I had somebody bring us in some spaghetti and red sauce today, and meatballs and Italian sausage. Oh my God, man, I am still burping this up, but man, was it good. But I don't normally eat like that for lunch, and man, I'm so full. God, I'm still full. But anyway, if you need anything from unswholesale.com, I'll be glad to help you out. If you got questions, I'm hoping I got some answers. Also, don't forget, don't be afraid. Send me the Gmail account, ask Chad Wade at Gmail. If you got a question, I'll be glad to answer it, and we'll take it from there. All right, guys, I'm going to get off here, let you enjoy the rest of your night. I still got a little bit of a drink to drink. That's mostly ice water, though, it looks like. But anyway, I'll freshen it up. Don't worry. I won't let you down. And I'll get the rest of the night going. All right, guys, thank you so much. If you need it, hey, Joe, you got that money, I hope. All right, so listen, I'll see you guys next time. Hope everything works out. And if you need me, you know where to find me. All right, y'all. Have a great night. See ya.